Happy Sunday, my terrific people. Happy Football Sunday. We're back live with you on this beautiful Sunday. What a crazy, wacky day yesterday of college football, the championship games, a lot of back and forth battles, one blowout, Arizona State. Shout out to them. They got the dub, getting that the big win in the Big 12 championship game. It's still hard to believe they're in the Big 12, but it is what it is, the alignment and all that stuff. And credit to that program who just went through a shithole with all the COVID stuff with Herm Edwards and Antonio Pierce and the Raiders, God help us, in all that situation. I never quite figured out, for all my life, why Arizona State struggles. Now, they're a state school and they kind of let shit fly. I get it. And a party school, I get that. But to be in a hotbed of talent like that, it's kind of bizarre to me. But it is what it is. They got the win. That Cam Scaputo kid sounds like a bounty hunter, whatever that name. What a star. 3 R's, baby. Yeah. He balled out yesterday. Might be a late round pick. Who knows? Could be a first, second round pick. The way I watched him yesterday. Power, speed, change of direction. I sound like a scout right now watching this game. But the clips I saw yesterday, very good, explosive game. But the first game I wanted to touch on was my man Alex Areola and his fiance, soon-to-be wife, Annabeth. They were at the Georgia game yesterday. Georgia, we're going to Georgia. Got some bulldog. Ooh, ooh, ooh. They were at the game yesterday. Love you guys. And I was just impressed yesterday with Georgia. And I watched that game. I didn't watch the first little bit, then I got the last half of it. Early on, I thought Texas was going to win this game. I mean, they were dominating first half. You know, Sark was scheming up plays, and they were getting misdirection, and Ewers was kind of on. He threw that bad pick, and I looked at the box score and went, oh, shit. Something's wrong. What's going on? And then second half, flipped the switch. And I was a little concerned because Carson Beck got hurt. He hurt his hand or shoulder. And it didn't matter with Georgia because they're built different. You know, there's the I'm him. Stephon Diggs did a couple years ago against the Rams. Georgia's him. And they balled out yesterday, and that was a gritty win. Did a lot of little things better than Texas did near the end. And better play calling. I thought the play calling for Texas was a little weird to me. The receivers coming in and out. Quinn Ewers had a lot of balls that he had dropped in the bad basket, but they couldn't come up with it. So a lot of missed opportunities for Texas to win this game. It was a great game. First SEC championship game in history that went to overtime. Awesome. I've seen a lot of great SEC football games lately. The COVID year of 2020 with Florida and Alabama, and just lately a bunch of these Georgia LSUs and the 19 team LSU against Georgia. So the SEC still remains king of college football. They're the best conference in football. A lot of talent down there in that pool, and it just shows. And this isn't a shot at Steve Sarkisian. I know he's had his battles with the demons and everything else, but I was just really impressed with Georgia. And I continue to be, and as long as I'm alive, Georgia football is going to be really good under Kirby Smart. They're going to win natties. They're going to be in that conversation. Now, they're not going to have as many NFL guys as they've had in the past, but they're a good program, and it shows. And with Texas, this is a devastating, heart-daggering loss. I know Matthew McConaughey wasn't hype yesterday. I know he's the spokesperson for Texas. He wasn't going, all right. He was going, oh, shit. So, great win for Georgia yesterday. And I just got to credit that whole staff at Georgia. I was just in awe yesterday, and I kind of had a feeling they were going to win. And I think Texas had the feeling they think they were going to win, and Georgia went with the mindset of, we know we're going to win. So I kind of felt that from that standpoint. And in terms of the quarterbacks yesterday, I know my Raiders need one, but I'm still rolling with Shador or Cam. I mean, I like Drew Aller, I'll get to him in a second, but great physical tools and a lot of great stuff. Kind of reminds me of Drake May last year. But, man, inaccuracy and touch got to work on, man. And I don't know if he can correct that, fix that mechanically. I don't know. But there's just some stuff there that I kind of shake my head at. You're like, ooh. So, we'll see. But, congrats to Georgia. This one to recap. And Sarkisian, listen, he's a good coach, but Texas just doesn't have the toughness. They've never been a tough team. I felt like they had early on, but then Georgia, they found out who the tougher team is, and that's Georgia. Because I think they're wired because of Kirby was a player, defensive player, and I think Steve is an offensive guy who's really good at his job, and I'm not knocking him. But I think he's more offensive, creative, and all that stuff. Excuse me. So, the other game I wanted to touch on was the Big Ten Championship game last night. Penn State in Oregon and Indianapolis last night. What a barn burner that was, man. I went into that, and I got a bunch of takeaways I had from that game last night. Oregon is the best team this year, and there's not a great team. And early on, Oregon in the season, I went, I don't know if I see it. I don't know. But last night, to me, proved that Dan Lanning has got this Oregon ship right. And they've had great coaches in the past. They've had, who's the guy? Chip Kelly, not a fan, but he won. And they had Bertoni or something like that, I think was his name. They've had great coaches in the past. But to me, Dan Lanning, I think, might be the best Oregon coach that I've seen come through there. He's authentic. He's honest. He brings this, southern, blue-collar, tough guy, bully Mike mentality with just new school. And I'm embracing this. And Dylan Gabriel last night looked like Tua. I just got out of the shower and I listened to Metal Cough, and he's not wrong. He looked like Tua last night. Just rifling, yeeting balls over the middle, getting peppered, going awesome. And I felt like early on, I was like, Oregon is taking Penn State's lunch money. They're bullying them. And then they came back. And, Penn State made a fight near the end, but it wasn't enough. And there was a few plays that Drew Aller had that he missed. He backfired. So, listen, when I'm looking at this quarterback draft, and I was thinking about this last night, and it's great having you guys in on a terrific Sunday, but I'm not sold on any of these kids. And listen, I've had my issues with Shador, more of the off-the-field stuff than on the field. I'm not disputing the great leader and all that stuff. Leadership, I got to figure out if he is or not, because he's throwing people under the bus. So we'll see. But Cam Ward I like, but there's a little backyard football to him. Dylan Gabriel I like, but he's like Tua, kind of small. I don't know if he fits the NFL game. It's a great case study. Could be. I'm not sure. And then I watched Drew Aller last night, who I mentioned at the top of this pod, which kind of reminds me of Drake May last year from New England. Great physical tools, all the stuff, size, arm, project. You can build and mold him into something. And maybe that's true. Now, maybe he gets picked before he should. I'm not sure. But first round grade, no way. But if I'm thinking second, third round, yeah, I'll consider it. Why not? Because it's like Will Levis, going in a couple years ago. Yeah, there's something there. So that's what I would do if I'm one of these teams. And maybe the Raiders kick the tires on it. I don't know. I'm repping them today. I'm recording this before the Tampa Bay game. God help us, we get a win. It's been 8 straight losses. Let's try and get a win to salvage this shitty season we've had. God help us. But great game last night. 2 really good football teams. Penn State is just, and listen, I am against James Franklin all the way, and I can't stand his ass. I said before, my dad and I got in this last night. I just can't get out of my head. He had 4 players rape people, and they recorded it and shared the rape. I just can't get that out of my head. I know it was 10 years ago. I'm not trying to be petty. I'm not. But that just kind of alarm bells me a little bit. I'm reading more into it this morning. And listen, he's won games, but he can't get over that hump. He hits the ceiling. And I have a comparison. I think he's John Calipari of college football. He recruits well. We know that. But what's his second act? What's his second pitch? He's got one fastball. Mariano Rivera. Great, you can recruit. All right. And you're in a great state to do it in the hotbed of Pennsylvania, where a lot of these Catholic schools, you get a lot of these guys. Bishop McDevitt and Aliquippa and all this stuff. But you got to do more than that, man. You got to, take the salesman hat off. Check down your ego. I get it. We're guys. We got prideful. Ego. Puff chest out. I got it. But they remind me of similar. And I just think as long as he's the coach, they're going to be in the same boat you're always in. Is 10 wins a year, you get into a bowl, but I don't take you seriously. Just my take. Because they got athletes everywhere last night. And listen, between those 2 rosters, that might be the most talent I've seen on the field this year. Because Oregon's got dudes going to the NFL, and Penn State always has dudes. I mean, that one Carter kid is a stud. I couldn't take my eyes off. I'm going, what the hell is that? Is that a freak? He looked like Terminator. I mean, he just was insane. So yeah, to recap that, I was going to say Penn State, whatever. He had a good run. We'll hope we'll get in the playoff. And we'll see if they win a game or not. But hard for me to trust when James Franklin's your coach. Going long term, just my feeling. I know he's, okay. I know he's been a changed guy, but hard to look past that situation. And Dan Lanning, shout out to him, learning from the great mentors that he's had, Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, and those guys from Georgia and Alabama. Obviously taking those southern routes, the blue collar kind of feel, and kind of implementing it to Oregon. Now, again, Oregon, it helps when he's got, fuck you money with Phil Knight. I get it. He's got Nike behind him, but he can recruit. And he's recruiting the state of California really well. And I think Dan Lanning likes recruiting. I think he likes to coach. And I can feel his identity and feel his toughness. And I just, it's so funny to me that Lincoln Riley just doesn't like to recruit. A whole nother story for another day. But I just can't wrap my brain around why he's not. And I think Lincoln, there's rumors about the Bears job. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But I just wanted to throw that caveat out there. Because USC should be pissed. Because Oregon is kicking your ass in recruiting in that 50-mile state range in California to recruit. He's kicking your ass. So, hey, Lincoln Riley, better wake the fuck up, brother, because you got to do something, okay? The last game I want to touch on, I haven't watched much of Clemson this year. I just haven't. I kind of think Dabo is a little bit of a tool. I'm not the biggest Dabo guy. I know he's won championships. Behind two of the best quarterbacks in college that we've seen in a while, and Deshaun, before he went just Bill Cosby mode, God help us, and Trevor Lawrence, sunshine. But Dabo, and listen, before the year, I was thinking about this morning. I was critical of him. Like, Dabo, you got to change, you got to adapt. But he stuck with it, stuck with his guns, and there's an ACC championship game, champs 6 out of the last 10 years. So consistency in that program, he's done a really nice job with that. And obviously helps when he had Nick Saban in his corner and these guys, the influences that he's had in his life. So obviously good things. And that quarterback for Clemson's really good. I would take a flyer on him, maybe second, third, fourth round. Who knows? Because I like him. I think there's something there with the kid. He's mobile enough. He's big. He's got a decent-sized arm. I don't know if he works like in the cold weather, but you know what I mean. He's got something to him. And then I'm watching that SMU kid last night. And again, I know Rhett Lashley's done a nice job at SMU now. Granted, he's in Texas, so he should be doing really well down that state because it's littered with talent everywhere. 500 high school kids in that state. It's so big. But I was really impressed with him last night. Again, early on in that game, like the Oregon game against Penn State early on in that game, like I just mentioned, very, I thought it was blowout city. I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. Just pour the Gatorade bath on Dabo. And nope, this team kept fighting. They kept grinding. And it was gut-wrenching way at the end when they lost on the buzzer, obviously, to that. But I was really impressed with SMU last night. And that Kevin Jennings kid, you give him more time, get him more feel for the pocket and not leaving the pocket so early on that one pick he threw, was trying to look right, went left, and he threw that awful pick where he just kind of flinged it and just kind of, kind of like, I don't know what it was, alligator arm or shot put it or whatever, and it got in the Clemson guy. But I think that he's going to get better. We'll see if, they can get some more better players around him. And the offensive line's got to get a little bit better. Got beat on a sack last night. That happens. It's okay. But I got to give SMU credit. Tip of the hat to them. And even Dabo gave them the flash of the game. They should be in the playoff. We'll see if they are. I don't know. I got to see tomorrow. So that's all I want to talk about on here today. I hope you guys are doing well on this terrific, fun-filled Super Sunday of football. I'm going to be watching all day. I got my Raiders coming on a little bit. I got to, just watch games. So if you guys are doing well, hit the like, subscribe, share button. And stay tuned throughout the week. I got a lot of content coming. And talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.